Only 48% of Russians said that they support the war in August, which is a significant decrease from 72% back in May. And hopefully the Russian soldiers realize this as well, because there are rumors that Ukraine might take back Kherson without a fight. In addition to that, the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, thinks that the war will be over soon. But his reasons are pretty ridiculous. And finally, you will learn the devastating consequences for those Ukrainians in Melitopol who agreed to take Russian passports. But more about all of this in just a couple of minutes. What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. And let me begin by showing you this footage from Chornohrihorievka. And as you can see, a Russian missile exploded in a civilian area, whereas there is not a single military object in sight. Then we go across the river to the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, where it is reported that the International Atomic Energy Agency delegation has already finished their inspections. And I mean, come on, this is such a problematic territory, and they are done with their investigation in less than 24 hours. And I mean, probably this video perfectly shows you the quality of the inspections they did, because one member of the delegation is asking the Russian representative why there is such an angle to this missile, which looks like that it came from your territory. And then, believe it or not, the Russian propagandist is saying that as soon as missile hits the ground, it rotates 180 degrees. I mean, like, what a logic. But I mean, okay, before I talk about the devastating consequences that Ukrainians from Melitopol are facing after receiving Russian passports, here is just one video from the same city. And as you can see right here, this night, Ukrainians were able to destroy another Russian military warehouse. And in this picture, you can see a document which Russian infiltrators are giving to Ukrainians in Melitopol, and it basically summons you to the local military headquarters. But what makes this ridiculous is that Russian infiltrators are specifically targeting those Ukrainian men who received Russian passports in Melitopol. So on the one hand you have Russian state propaganda, which shows this footage of happy Ukrainians that they finally became Russians and received Russian passports. But on the other hand, and this will definitely be never shown on the federal channels, the very same Ukrainians who accepted this document, they will be recruited to fight against their fellow citizens. Alright, and before I talk about the first main point of the video, is that Ukrainians might take back Kherson without any fight, allow me to just show you a couple videos from the same region. And while I'm going there, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you like this style of daily updating. Alright, so the first video comes to us from Kozatske, where it has been reported that Ukrainians were able to destroy a Russian military warehouse. And then in the next video we can see the consequences of shelling the railroad bridge next to Antonovsky Bridge. Going a little bit more to the south, to the small city of Oleshki, we can see the Russian air defense system in action. And then in Kherson itself it has been reported that Ukrainians were able to destroy a dormitory which Russians were using as their military base. And finally, in this picture you can see the consequences of Russian shelling of Mykolaiv. Alright, and now as promised, let's talk about the statement of the UK ex-general Michael Clark, who is saying that Ukraine might take back the entire Kherson region without a fight. According to him, the only thing Ukraine needs to do is to encircle all the Russian soldiers in this area. It is estimated that there are anywhere between 20 and 25,000 Russian soldiers who can be used as a bargaining chip. I mean, assuming Russia would want to save them. Michael Clark is pretty confident that the chances of Russians winning in that specific area are very close to zero, which is basically exactly the same what we've been talking on this channel since the beginning of this week. On the one hand, we have these trapped Russians who most likely realize this as well, and on the other hand, we have Ukrainians who will most likely be able to liberate Kherson, and they don't want to destroy the area while doing this. And so, as a result of this, they might meet on the common ground, which basically means that Russians surrender and save their lives, while Ukrainians retake back Kherson and do not destroy the infrastructure. This will be one of the best case scenarios for the south, but we'll see what's gonna happen. Alright, and before I show you even more footage from the east, here is one last quick and very unusual video from Odessa. And as you can see right here, an underwater mine detached from its anchor and destroyed one of Odessa beaches. Fortunately, there were no people at that moment, but the beach itself is destroyed. And if you want to see the consequences of this explosion, along with other footage that I was not able to use in today's episode, please consider checking my Patreon. All the proceeds will be donated to Ukraine, and you can find all the useful links down below. Alright, and now let's go to the east. And our first video comes from Donetsk. And as you can see right here, it has been reported that Ukrainians were able to destroy another Russian military object. Then we go a little bit to the north, to the city of Slavyansk, and as a result of Russian shelling, a local kindergarten was partially destroyed. And by the way, since we are speaking about the east, a very quick update about this order of Putin to liberate Donetsk before September 15th. According to the report by the Institute for the Study of War, Russia is now actively assembling its forces to do a massive counteroffensive in the east by the end of this fall or in the beginning of winter. And in order for this counteroffensive to be successful, Putin needs to increase the morale of its forces. And one of the ways to do this is to present them with some kind of victory. And this so-called victory can be the liberation of Donetsk before September 15th. But I mean, let's be honest, it's not gonna happen. Okay, and before we talk about the second major point of the video, which is Lukashenko saying that the war will be over soon, here is just one last quick picture from Kharkov. And as you can see right here, this crater is the result of the Russian missile explosion next to sport complex Lokomotiv. Right, now it's time to talk about the ridiculous reasoning of Lukashenko. His almost exact quote goes as following, is that he's convinced that the war will be over in the nearest future and Russia will not lose it. And I mean, come on, you got it, right? He did not say Russia will win it. He said Russia will not lose it. The first reason he gives us is that in case Ukraine does not want to end it, it will be erased from the face of the earth. The second reason is that unlike President Zelensky, the Ukraine's military already sees the hopelessness of the situation. And finally, the reason why Russia will not lose, let's keep it that way, it is because Belarus supports Russia. And yeah, you heard it right. While the rest of the world supports Ukraine and sends them actual physical weapons, the counter advantage of Russia is that Belarus is saying them, come on bro, I believe in you, you can win. Welcome to another episode of Ridiculous Russian Propaganda. And today we have these Russian-style memes which compare the president of Biden to the Big Brother. And I mean, yes, there are questions to the way he does politics, but Russia blaming another country for the total control of the society is just a top-level hypocrisy. Crazy Russian patriots in the comments are like, thanks God I don't live in America. Thanks God I live in Russia, where there is total freedom of speech. And ironically, this very same idea was planted into their minds by the one-sided Russian propaganda. And yeah, if you want to see more memes with the Big Brother Biden, feel free to join my Discord. Also, if you want to support my work and unlock some benefits, please consider becoming my channel member. Thank you so much for your attention, stay safe, and see you on Monday during special episode.